Hey guys, Junior from Oma Auto Detailing here, and today I'm going to show you the two different wash methods that you can use. But not only am I going to show you how to wash, but I'm also going to show you how to clay with both methods on this 2006 Ford Freestar. Let's go. So today we're going to be using Meguiar's non-acid wheel cleaner and IK pump foamer Dawn dish soap with a microfiber wash mitt on half of the vehicle. Then we're going to use a synthetic clay bar on the whole vehicle, and on the other half we're going to be using McKee's Rinseless wash with a dedicated Rinseless wash sponge. And then after all of this, we'll be drying with a microfiber towel. And then we'll also be using 2 buckets, 2 grit guards, a wheel brush, a detailer's brush to do the wheels. Now the first wash method that I'm going to show you is basically your traditional wash method. But in this case, we're going to use, instead of using a dedicated car soap, I'm going to be using Dawn dish soap. Dawn dish soap is basically being kind of like an old-fashioned method used in the detailing industry for degreasing and stripping the paint of any old waxes, dirt, grime, brake dust, you name it. So with this Dawn dish soap, we're going to put at least 5 ounces of soap. We're going to kind of measure it through seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to put the wash mitt in there. And then we're going to take our garden hose. And then we're going to start up the water. Then we're going to put this one to the side. And then right here we have our wheel bucket. Our wheel bucket is going to have a wheel brush with an extension so you can get under the wells. We're going to have a lug nut brush. I usually carry a toothbrush in my kit just in case for those little finicky spots. A detail brush. And a medium bristle wheel wool for in between the wheels. Then right here I have an IK foamer, a Meguiar's non-acid wheel cleaner. I usually use this most of my details. It's been a great product. I have no complaints over it. It's been really good at getting rid of a lot of heavy brake dust and whatnot. Sometimes you need to do maybe 1 or 2 applications, but for the most part I haven't had to do more than 1. So this is going to end up being for the wheels, and this is going to end up being over here for the exterior surface. Now the way we're doing the first method of washing is we're only going to do half the car. That way you can kind of see how it's done. And then not only that, I'm also going to be doing it in the Florida sun. Really, really hot out here. Lately it's been in the 90s, almost close to the 100s. So that way it kind of teach and help the other guys that deal with heat how to wash a car within a certain amount of time. That way you don't get water spots. Okay, so generally the first way you wash a vehicle in a traditional method, especially with the really, really hot sun beaming onto a vehicle, is you kind of break it down into sections. So first thing you generally do is you do the wheels traditionally, and then you end up rinsing them off first. Then you put your wheel solution on there, agitate it, rinse it off, do the wheel well, do the same thing, rinse it off, and then move on to the next wheel. That part of the vehicle usually should take you anywhere between 10-15 minutes, 20 max. 20 is a little bit long, but you know, when you're starting out, it's okay. Then when it comes to the actual washing method of the vehicle in a hot place, you want to break it down into small sections. So the first thing you end up doing is when you're washing, you start from the roof, from 1/2 of the vehicle down. So you're only doing it from the driver's side first. You're going from here all the way down to the front. Then you're going to break it down into half a section and then go down. You're going to stop right here. You don't want to go down to the rock panels. Reason being is because the bottom is the part where it gets the most amount of brake dust, dirt, grime, road, dust, and all that. So you leave the rocker panels for last so you don't contaminate the soap bucket for the rest of the vehicle itself. That way you minimize swirls, scratches, etc. So then after you wash this section of the vehicle, the first half of it, then you rinse it off and then you dry it off right away. After After you dry it off, then you move on to the next section of the vehicle and then do the same thing. That way, as you're washing, cleaning, and drying, you're preventing from getting a lot of water spots. You're minimizing the amount. Will you be able to 100% get rid of water spots? Probably not. It's going to be extremely hard, especially in those states where the weather is 100 and above. But you can at least, with this method, minimize it to an extent, especially when starting out. So let's go and start with the wheel. So like I said earlier, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to rinse off the whole wheel and the wheel well to kind of cool it off from the heat, and then you're going to put the solution. You do not want to put any type of solution on a hot surface because it will cause etching and damage to the vehicle, and you do not want to do that to a customer. So let's go. After you've got it rinsed off and cooled off, then you're going to take your solution. In this case, I have the non-acid wheel cleaner in a foam pump sprayer by IK Foamer. And then I'm just going to pump it through. I'm going to unlock it right here, and then I'm going to spray it. Then I'm going to take my wheel brush. When you use a brush, you want to start from the inside out, not from the outside in, because most of the grime and dirt is on the outside of the vehicle, and then if you do it use the brush on the outside first, you end up causing scratches and swirls on the middle. So you want to work your way from the inside out. There you go. Stir and agitate. Agitate the outside. And you take the detail brush around the lug nut. Scrub the sections as best as you can. Dip it in the water. Move on to the next section. And do it again. And you want to make sure you don't let none of this solution dry, because that can also cause damage. If you have to rinse it off right after, you can do so, or you need to put a little bit more and you agitate again. And you spray. And you're done. Now, unfortunately, in this case, I have a vehicle that's kind of old and the wheel's kind of old. You know, what you see is what you're gonna get. But generally, on newer vehicles, you know, you could have a better looking wheel when using these tools and chemicals. Now, for the wheel wells, you could use the same cleaner. You're gonna go around a little bit. And then take your extended brush and you're gonna clean around it. I like this extended brush because I don't have to put my whole arm in there to clean the wheel wells, which is great. You can get this in any local auto parts store. Then we'll take the hose and clean it again, and then you move on to the next wheel. So this is the part where we're going to take the vehicle, we're going to break it down into sections. And I have here a rinse bucket for my wash mitt. Over here I have another bucket with soapy water. I have my microfiber body on vehicles in hot summer areas like some other states. So here we go. So what you do is you're gonna rinse off a section of the area at the time. Only half the vehicle, not the whole vehicle. Not even a half, more like a quarter. Then other towel right here. You're washing it. And your clay bar. In the bar section out of that. Then you flip it over for another section of the car. Down, back up. That's one small section. Then you get to the wash mitt, you're gonna put in the rinse bucket. You're gonna take your clay. You're gonna pass it on to the section that needs to clean. That way. This method right here, you do it this way, that way. You wash, you clean the process. And on top of that, you have the vehicle ready for any type of paint correction or if you're just trying to seal it. So then you rinse off here. Give it a getting bucket and then you move on to the next section. Again, put it back in here. And you're gonna stay again. You're only gonna do half the vehicle. As quick as you can before everything dries out. Off, put it back in here. Now, because it's so hot, if you have to break it down further, you break it down further. Make sure you keep the whole vehicle wet at all times for that section. Then with the towel, you come back up. You dry the small section you work with. And then you continue moving on to the next section. So let's continue. You can take synthetic clays and regular clays and use it on the glass as well. Just make sure it's not fully contaminated, causing scratches on the window. Guys, I'm sweating myself, so it is pretty hot over here in sunny Florida. Now I'm going to continue going on the other half of the vehicle. assuming that you did the whole car in a traditional manner, The next thing you're gonna end up doing is you're gonna leave the rocker panels for last. Then you're gonna clean that up, the same exact method as every other part of the car. Wash it, rinse it, and then dry it off, and then you're done. Unfortunately, as you see, the sun has gone down. I had to wait a couple of hours until everything pulled off because my phone, which is what I use to do my YouTube videos, basically started getting overheated and I couldn't continue. I had to wait for it to cool off, so I decided to leave it for the rest of the for the later in the day for me to do the rest of the YouTube video. But this other half of the car, now we're gonna do what's called a rinseless wash, which basically means is the step that you use to traditionally wash a vehicle and you have all the soap sitting on there is not there. You do not have to rinse off any soap or anything. You use the solution with a special sponge, or you can use a microfiber sponge and then just wipe it off and you're done. So in this process, we're gonna end up using a 5-gallon bucket of water. We're gonna use a wheel brush to clean the wheels. But I'm going to show you a little bit of a different way of how I wash the wheels when I have a limited amount of water. I have a sponge that's designed mainly for rinseless purposes. And if you see here, they made it to where it has little gaps to help scoop up the dirt. Then I'm going to continue using a synthetic clay sponge. Use the Meguiar's non-acid root cleaner. This time, instead of using a hose, because I'm going to show how it works with having a limited amount of water, a pump sprayer. And then this time, I'm going to use McKee's 37N-914 rinseless wash. It says here is a 4-in-1 formula, hyper-concentrated, eco-friendly. So I have a 5-gallon bucket already full, ready to go. And then I'm going to put what says here for rinseless, 1 to 256 parts. So that means that for a 5-gallon bucket, you do 2.5 ounces. So here I'm 2.5 ounces, it's going to be half an ounce and a half. 1 ounce. 2 ounce. That's half an ounce. Now in this case, I'm going to be using the clay bar or the synthetic clay. So then, as a clay lubricant, it's going to be 1 to 128. So that means I'm going to put another ounce. Then I'm going to mix up the whole solution. And that's it. No suds, there's nothing else. So the next thing I do is put this here real quick. I take my pump sprayer and fill it up most of the way. how I do my rinseless wash. There's other ways that you could try and do it yourself. So then, I'll use the pump sprayer with the rinse suspension, kind of wet the whole wheel well a little bit. Then I'm going to take the wheel cleaner, and this time with the rinseless wash I'm going to use like a little bit only instead of using a regular amount. And that's about it. Then I'm going to take my brush and clean the outside. Sorry guys, I made a mistake. I'm going to take the pump sprayer to rinse off any of the dirt that's in the brush. And then do the inside first. Off the brush so I can work on the next wheel. And then I take a pump sprayer and then clean this whole wheel well off. Clean a whole wheel well and the face of a wheel with a rinse. So I finished doing the wheels and the wheel well. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is, I originally started with 5 gallons. Then I ended up filling this pump sprayer up with some of the rinseless wash. I did the wheels. Now with one bottle alone, you should be able to do all 4 wheels. Now I'm gonna depressurize it. Then I'm going to fill it up again, and then we're gonna do the rest of the car. Sorry, I have to go get the towel, the drying towel. But now what you end up doing is pretty much the same as that process. You go from the top all the way to the bottom. In this case right here, I'm gonna just show you real quick my step process of how I wash with the rinseless. So you can see it in the video, and then I'm gonna continue doing the rest of the vehicle. All right. So again, I'll take the pump sprayer. pressurize it. Then what I'll do is I'll spray the solution on the hood. And what this will do is it'll lift and encapsulate the dirt. That way when you raise your wipe, it's already lifted off the panel. Then I'm going to take my rinseless sponge and then I'm just going to wring it out, and then you want to wring it out to the point where it's dripping some water, but it's not profusely, it's just draining complete water. That way you can still have some lubrication on the panel itself. Okay? So then sponge, you go one way, the block. Flip it the other way. Continue. And then you're gonna wring it out. And then you'll do the other panel. If the vehicle is extremely dirty, you want to make sure you break it down into little sections, flip it over, and then continue. Like I said, if it's extremely dirty, I'll do it at least one more time. And in this case, I'm going to take my clay, give a little bit of the rinseless wash. Start decontaminating. The great thing about these rinseless washers is that it's very multi-use. You can use it for a few different things and it'll save you a lot of money. I'll rinse it out. Do another panel. And I'm going to dry the whole area off. And that's it. So, a few simple steps is a lot easier than doing a traditional wash, but it works great. And then the best thing about rinseless washing is that when you do it in the heat, even if it dries up on the panel, all you gotta do is take a sponge or the pump sprayer, spray it on there, and then just wipe it off with a clean towel, and the water spots will just come off easily like if it was never there. So I'm gonna move on to the rest of the vehicle, and then I'm gonna show you what I do with the rest of the vehicle. Alright guys, so that's how you do a traditional wash and a rinseless wash. And on top of that, clean the vehicle and have it ready for either wax, sealant, or ready for a polish. If you guys like this video, click the like button in the bottom and subscribe for more videos. Till next time guys.